Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Solo Leveling. Today we will discuss episode number 4 of season 2. In the previous episode, we saw that Jinwoo finally defeated the boss of the Ice Layers dungeon. Now it was time for him to return home. After that, we were taken outside the dungeon. It was already 3 a.m., which meant that a week had passed inside the dungeon. Mr. Ahan says to Bike Yoonho, "Sir, would you like to go back for today? We will stay here to keep watch." Bike replies, "How can I go back home in such a situation when my guild members are in such trouble?" While Bike Yoonho was saying all this, suddenly the red gate started to open. There was a lot of commotion. We see hunters emerging from the gate. Bike Yoonho mutters to himself, "This means Kim Chul managed to clear the dungeon." However, as the hunters came out, everyone was utterly shocked. Mr. Ahan thought to himself, "This is exactly what I feared." Where exactly had Kim Chul gone? Because the 4 members who survived were all low-ranked hunters. Bike Yoonho was extremely shocked to see this. He asks, "What does this mean? Only B-rank hunters managed to make it out of the dungeon alive? Not even a single A-rank hunter survived. What exactly happened inside the dungeon?" As Jinwoo and the girl were leaving, Bike Yoonho stopped Jinwoo and said, "I need to talk to you." Jinwoo brushes off Bike Yoonho's hand from his shoulder and says, "I'm really tired. If you really want to know something, go ask your guild members." Seeing Jinwoo's boldness, Bike Yoonho is quite surprised. After that, Bike Yoonho grabs Jinwoo's shoulder even tighter and says, "My name is Bike Yoonho, and I'm the leader of the White Tiger Guild. We just lost a lot of high-ranking hunters. As a guild master, I need to ask you something." Jinwoo responds, "What are you trying to say? At the very least, I saved the lives of 3 of your hunters. As a guild master, you should be thanking me instead." The two of them stare intensely into each other's eyes. However, after a moment, Bike Yoonho removes his hand and says, "I'm sorry. I just got a little restless." Following this, Jinwoo and the woman leave in the car. After Jinwoo leaves, Miss Park, the woman who is part of Jinwoo's party, is questioned by Bike Yoonho. Bike asks Miss Park, "What kind of man is he?" The woman replies, "I don't know much about him, but he's been like this from the start. He defeated the boss single-handedly." Hearing their conversation, Mr. Ahan approaches them and says, "I'm sorry, sir, but he's not a bad person. Perhaps he's just in a bad mood because of exhaustion from the dungeon." Bike Yoonho says, "That's not the problem right now. Why haven't you recruited him yet?" In his mind, Bike Yoonho thinks, even while standing before an S-rank hunter, he showed no fear. "I'd give an arm and a leg to have him in my guild." Bike then tells Mr. Ahan, "At any cost, I want him in our guild. Do whatever it takes to make that happen." Then the scene transitions to Jinwoo, who is returning home with Songyai. A brief flashback is shown where Jinwoo attempts to extract the shadow of the leader of the Ice Elf after defeating him. However, Jinwoo fails all 3 times. He internally reflects, thinking there was probably a significant difference in their strengths. Although Jinwoo couldn't succeed in the shadow extraction, he finds an incredible dagger. The dagger, an A-rank item, not only reduces the user's weight, but also enhances their attack and agility stats. Afterward, Jinwoo drops Songyai off at her house. Before leaving, she thanks Jinwoo for everything he has done for her so far. Up until now, Songyai had been addressing Jinwoo formally as Mr., but suddenly she calls him by his name. Surprised, Jinwoo pauses for a moment. Songyai then says, "All right, I'll be going now. Let's meet tomorrow." She blushes heavily before running off in embarrassment. Jinwoo notices it is 3:50 a.m. and decides to go on another dungeon raid with Jinho the following morning. Morning arrives and Jinho shows up at Jinwoo's house in his shining armor. Jinwoo, seeing his outfit, remarks, "Did you really wear that on the taxi here? I thought I'd pick you up on the way." Jinho replies, "No sir, you're always helping me, so I thought I'd help you today." The two then head off for the dungeon raid. On the way, Jinwoo suggests picking up Songyai. Hearing her name, Jinho is surprised and wonders, "What am I hearing?" He knows her name and her phone number. Are they in a relationship? They arrive at Songyai's apartment, and Jinwoo asks Jinwoo, "By the way, sir, should I start calling her Miss from now on?" Jinwoo replies, "She's just a friend of my sister's, nothing more." After a while, Songyai comes out, ready to go, and joins them in the car. As soon as she gets in, she and Jinwoo start talking. Jinwoo asks her if she got any sleep last night. Songyai responds that she didn't sleep at all. Jinwoo says he managed to rest his eyes for a bit. Hearing this, Jinho is stunned and internally wonders, what's going on here? They met last night, neither of them slept, and they both look exhausted. Plus, they got home at 4 a.m. What does this mean? Is she really just his sister's friends or something else? Finally, Jinho comments, "Sir, I think Miss Song Yi is still underage." Jinwoo interrupts and asks, "What do you mean by that?" Jinwoo starts sweating nervously, but says, No, it's nothing. In his mind, he thinks he's not your average guy, that's for sure. He decides to drop the matter and move forward. After this, we are taken directly to the dungeon where Jinwoo and Jinho are standing and watching a scene unfold. Jinwoo's shadows are doing all the work on their own. Seeing this, Jinho asks, "By the way, sir, what exactly is all this?" Because this is the first time Jinho has seen Jinwoo's shadows and knows nothing about them. Jinwoo replies, "You can think of it as one of my skills." Jinho says, "You have a skill that summons shadows?" Jinwoo replies, "Yes, it's a long story, but these shadows are extremely useful. They can handle the dungeon work efficiently." Hearing this, Jinwoo feels a little downhearted and says, "Sir, can I at least collect one essence stone?" Jinwoo asks, "Why? What's wrong?" Jinho replies, "It's just, I feel like I've been useless in battles, and until now, all I've done is collect essence stones. But now even that task has been taken away from me. I feel like I'm completely worthless." Jinwoo smiles to himself and thinks, this guy is really strange. But since this is my last raid with him, I can at least do this much for him. Jinwoo then says, "All right, you can take one." Jinwoo thanks Jinwoo for this. The next day, the deal Jinho had made with Jinwoo for the 19th raid is completed. After this, the scene shifts directly to a high-ranking A-rank dungeon in the USA, where a man named James, an A-rank adventurer, is shocked to see another man inside the dungeon. Not only that, but this man had single-handedly killed all of James's party members. James starts to think that this must be some kind of humanoid beast. Terrified, he mutters to himself, "I thought something was off with this dungeon. Ever since we entered, we haven't encountered a single magical beast, but I never imagined there would be someone like this inside the dungeon. The man is radiating from this person is unimaginable, yet I've never heard of a beast like this in an A-rank dungeon. Who is this man?" The mysterious man slowly approaches James, who is paralyzed with fear. Then the man says, "You're hurting my ears. Don't worry, your friends aren't dead yet. They're just unconscious. If you hadn't attacked me with your squad, this wouldn't have happened. I've been telling you that I'm not a monster, but I guess you didn't understand a word I was saying. How can I make you understand? I'm Korean and I just want to go home." After this, we are once again taken to Jinwoo and Jinho as their raid target had been completed. Here, Jinwoo takes Jinwoo to a restaurant for a meal. Jinwoo asks him, "What are you planning to do next?" Jinho replies that he plans to take the Guildmaster certification exam and also resolve all matters with his father. Jinho, thinking to himself, reflects, "I need to consider the promise I made to the sir." Jinwoo thinks to himself, "With 30 billion money, my life will become much easier, but my main target is to level up. This is just a bonus. I've already achieved my goal, so there's no point in continuing this relationship any further." At this point, we see that Jinwoo's level had reached 61. He was holding the key to the demon castle and thinking about it. Jinho then asks him, "By the way, sir, what are your future plans?" Jinwoo replies, "You won't be able to contact me for some time. I have to go somewhere." Hearing this, Jinho, after taking a sip of his drink, says, "Sir, I know I've been a headache for you all this time, but I won't trouble you anymore." Jinwoo feels a little bad for Jinho and decides to clear things up with him. Jinwoo asks Jinho, "Tell me one thing. What do you think of me?" Jinwoo replies, "There's a 10-year gap between me and my older brother, and he doesn't like me much. We haven't spent much time together either, whereas you've saved my life many times and helped me achieve my goals. You're more of a brother to me than he is." Hearing this, Jinwoo is taken aback. Jinwoo then says, "All right, since you consider me your big brother, I'll consider you my little brother from now on." Hearing this, Jinho gets very emotional, and tears start flowing from his eyes. Jinho then asks, "Sir, can I hug you once?" In his drunken state, Jinho starts crying. Suddenly, Jinwoo hears a news report about a recent incident. The news had spread everywhere that in one of the dungeons of the White Tiger Guild, only the low-ranking hunters had managed to escape, while all the high-ranking hunters had died inside. All the reporters start pointing fingers at Bike Yoonho, but Bike Yoonho dismisses it as an accident and closes the matter right there. After this, we are directly taken to the leader of the White Tiger Guild, Bike Yoonho, who was extremely exhausted after the press conference. Suddenly, he receives a call from Min Byung, who was in Japan at the time. Bike Yoonho asks, "What are you doing in Japan right now?" Min Byung had some major news and tells Bike Yoonho, "A few days ago, someone from Japan called the Korean Hunter Association." Bike Yoonho asks, "What about?" Min Byung says, "You won't believe it, but it was about Jeju Island." Hearing the name Jeju Island, Bike Yoonho gets goosebumps. Jeju Island is a place where 4 years ago, a dungeon gate had opened. But this wasn't just any gate. It was an S-rank gate. 4 years ago, an attempt was made to clear it, but the Korean government failed, and they had to give up on the island. Even now, 4 years later, there are still many monsters on the island. We learned that during the raid 4 years ago, both Manwha and Bike Yoonho were on the verge of death. Manwha continues, recently, it was observed that these ants have undergone another mutation, and now they have evolved further. These ants can now travel from one country to another, and recently, the body of one of these evolved ants was found near the sea in Japan. It was clear this ant had grown wings on its back, meaning these ants are evolving. Hearing this news, Bike Yoonho is left stunned. After this, the scene shifts to Jinwoo's house. Jinwoo is seen packing his backpack as he prepares to leave. Jin asks, "You've been going out a lot lately, and now you're going on a trip again?" Jinwoo replies that he will be away for a week. Jinna then asks, "Who are you taking with you? Do you have a girlfriend?" Jinwoo denies this and says, "No, I'm going with a friend." Jinwoo then goes to the same location he visited last time. Back then, his level was around 20, but now his level has tripled, making it easier for him to handle things. Jin once again stands before the dungeon gate and uses the key to open the castle door. He enters through the door but notices that the hallway is empty with no monsters in sight. Just then, a pop-up appears in front of Jinwoo, presenting him with a regular quest. The quest requires him to collect 10,000 demon souls. The rewards for this quest were extraordinary. Completing the quest would allow Jinwoo to buy any item from the store for free. Along with that, he would also earn 20 stat points and finally, a secret gift. Jinwoo knows that the store contains many expensive items, so he gets very excited about the quest. However, he also understands that because the reward is so great, the quest is likely to be extremely difficult. Jinwoo comes across another door. As he opens it, his eyes widen in surprise. Jinwoo finds himself staring at a city engulfed in flames on all sides. Seeing this, Jinwoo is shocked and says, "I never imagined I would enter a field-type dungeon like this. Is this dungeon really the Rift of Soul? I need to collect 10,000 demon souls, which means there are over 10,000 demonic beasts in this castle. I told everyone I was going on a trip, but now it seems like I won't be able to finish this in a week." Jinwoo finds himself facing a massive horde of demons. He places his bag on the ground, grabs his dagger, and directly charges at the demons. The demons roar and attack Jinwoo, but he uses his abilities to decapitate them one by one. Jinwoo remarks, "It seems my efforts haven't gone to waste." The scene then shifts to Jinho, who has come fully prepared. Jinwoo has brought along his license and experience record to show his father. Jinwoo says, "Father, as you know, making a stranger the guild master is a very risky move. I want you to consider me for the position." Jinho's father responds, "Enough. I want to introduce you to someone." A man enters the room, and Jinho's father introduces him as Manwha, a hunter and a member of the White Tiger Guild. He was recently involved in a dungeon incident that Jinwoo also participated in. The man explains that Sung Jinwoo was present during the Red Gate incident, along with a female hunter. Jinho is shocked to learn this and discovers that the female hunter is none other than Han Song-yae. The man adds that the group managed to clear the Red Gate easily because of Sung Jinwoo. Internally, Jinho thinks, "I don't need to hear anything more. It seems I'm not the only one who knows Jinwoo's secret. This means my negotiation with father won't work either." The man also reveals that the White Tiger Guild wants to keep information about Sung Jinwoo private, and then the person receives a call from Jinho's father. After that, Jinho's father also reveals all the details about Jinwoo. He had figured it out that Jinho had been clearing dungeons with the help of the strike squad, and Sung Jinwoo was one of its hunters. Jinwoo played a significant role in Jinho's success. Jinho's father says, "I think you picked the wrong day to negotiate with me." Jinho remains silent, realizing that his father is unlikely to choose him and will likely prioritize his older brother again. His father asks, "Do you have anything else to say?" Despite this, Jinho replies, "Dad, I know I have no right to ask, but I still want you to make me the guild master." To Jinho's shock, his father agrees. However, he adds, "I'll let you become the guild master on one condition. You know that we're trying to gather S-rank hunters for our guild, and it's risky to give leadership to an inexperienced person. Tell me one thing, can you bring Sung Jinwoo into our guild?" Jinho internally resolves that he's worked hard for this moment. He then says, "All right, father, I'll try." Jinho's father had already offered positions to two S-rank hunters, Shahan and Min Byung, but both had declined the offer. Shahan was offered a position by Jinho's father because she is the vice guild master of the Hunters Guild. If she joined their guild, they promised to make her the guild master to help the guild grow financially. On the other hand, Min Byung retired from his hunter career very early despite being in perfect health. Jinho's father thought that if he made a request, it might work out, but Min Byung decided to retire after the failure of the Jeju Island raid. However, Jinho's father had not given up yet and was also aware of recent updates about Jeju Island where ant monsters had started evolving. Both of them were deep in thought about this. Afterward, we are taken back to Jinwoo, who had piled up a horde of demonic beasts in a dungeon. So far, out of 10,000, he had collected only 309 demon souls, meaning he still had a long way to go. And that's it for Solo Leveling Season 2, Episode 4. Well, the video ends here, but I'd like to know your opinion, so make sure to let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, do give it a like and also subscribe to the channel. We'll meet again with another amazing video. Until then, goodbye.